Hey everyone, and welcome to this mod spotlight featuring Big Al's Carcharodontosaurus rework. So this mod is essentially a visual TLC to ARK's existing Carcha. Though when I say visual TLC, I mean new model, textures, animations, cosmetic raw edited sounds, but also some little utility, such as the fact that both the large and the mini Carcha now have a 75% weight reduction to all types of meat. Their insight buffs have been changed to also give a 15% damage boost and heals 10 health per second to allies. Although that is at the cost of the mini Carcha now only being able to have up to 50 stacks of insight, while the big Carcha still has 100, same as usual. And both have also been made to be slower, but have better stamina management. So more at base, last longer, faster regen. So overall, like I said, more of a visual TLC, but with a bit of utility and just overall balancing, and something that helps make the character just feel a little bit more at home in modern ARK, and feels a little bit less rushed compared to the original version that came out in ASC. And I say that as someone who never really had a problem with the character, until seeing Big Al's one and realising, yeah, it's a lot better. Now, for the start of this video, normally what I'd do is I'd go find one in the wild and do my old usual, organic experience, but for this one, because it is literally a comparison between new and old, I'm sure a lot of you would rather me just show you the new and old rather than we go through the big hoo-ha and wait until much later. Let's go ahead and show you it now then. So, I will still do the whole taming and everything after this, but again, I'm sure you want to see this now. So, in terms of actual appearances, I'm going to miss details, I'm not going to be able to spot everything. But we can immediately see a very large difference between the, the two big ones. And of course, Giga and Indominus Rex full size, because I'm sure people would want to see that included too. But for the most part, the two large Carchas are the same size, bear in mind there's a bit of a slope here. So they're the same size, they're pretty much the same proportions as far as I can tell. I feel like Big Al's one's a little bit slimmer, but I think that's because the overall scale work and design is more streamlined, whereas ARK has a very lumpy thing going on. We can really see when we compare the Rex to the mini Carcha. The ARK stylers are very lumpy, so yeah, Al's Carcha feels smoother compared to the original one. There's obviously a very big difference with the faces. The eyes are so much better. The entire face is smoother and feels more natural. The mouth is red instead of blue. It's got a bit of a jiggle to its throat. The entire throat, in fact, looks very different. It's got a really cool scale pattern going on there. Same with the feet as well. The feet are also just better looking. I think the hands have high fidelity, but otherwise the same style. The spikes I also believe are the same, although it's got this much cooler looking scutes running down the entire back. Again, the scale work is just beautiful. He's completely redone all the scales on the Carcha, and it just looks so much nicer, so much neater. Not to mention, as you can clearly see, new textures, new patterning as well. One thing I really like in particular is that crest of horns, or osteoderms, or I'm not sure the right terms, bear with me. But the crest on his snout compared to the old one. Not only does the new one just look better than the old one entirely, but also, I'm not sure this is a coincidence, it might be intended, it might not be, I don't mind, I don't really care. But the Evo Giga from Paleo ARK also has this crest design. And I think it's just really cool since both the giganotosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus are both Carcharodontosaurids, so same family. It's really cool the fact that Big Al's Carcha rework and Paleo ARK's Evo Giga are both going to have the same trademark crest on their nose. Again, don't know if it's intended, don't know if it's an accident, I don't think it really matters. I think it's just really cool how these related dinosaurs just look related. It's really cool, and yet they'll still look very distinct, thankfully, when they actually come out. Yeah, it's just a really nice touch. The little Carcha, which by the way is a separate mod, so there's the regular Carcha, so it's called Big Al's Carcha Rework, and Big Al's Carcha Rework, small version, both are on CurseForge, very easy to find. I'll put both the IDs for you on screen. But yes, otherwise it is quite literally a smaller version, where I believe the only change is the fact that it has up to 50 insight stacks instead of 100, but otherwise it's more scaled both in terms of size but in terms of power to that of a Rex. So if you are someone who thinks that, the kaijus of ARK are too big, too powerful, you want a more streamlined and somewhat more realistic experience, then Big Al's Carcha Rework small version will be the one for you. This one is much more tuned for you know, a more balanced playthrough, and for boss runs as well. And if you're worried that it's going to look a little bit out of place, because you got to admit, right, compared to these big fat chunky Rex, big ass smaller Carcha looks a bit too lean and clean. First of all, it's going to match the Evo Rex really nicely, so when the vanilla Rex is replaced by the Evo Rex, that's going to look better anyway. But also I noticed that big ass Carcha just fits really nicely alongside the Eocarcharia, all the Meraxes. Obviously the Meraxes is made by the same person, Big Al, but you get what I'm saying. These newer dinosaurs in ASA are all just going to complement each other, and it's going to feel less and less out of place compared to the very old and crunchy looking roster. Now there's also new sounds, new animations, and we'll look at all that in a bit, but I think let's go ahead then and go to our usual experience, finding one out in the wild and go taming one. Now regarding spawning locations, both the bigger and smaller Carchas have a rare chance to spawn in the mountains, and the smaller one has additional chances to spawn in the grasslands. Now regarding said spawns, we check the wiki real quick. Carchas and gigas spawn, you know, these are all the mountain regions, and the reason why I show you this here from the wiki is because in this location here, as I get to in-game, all around down here, for those of you who'd seen my Ambulicitos video, I'd actually stumbled across a wild Big Al's Carcha right here. Actually no, it was right on that little island right there. And it was here just earlier, but now it's gone, which is very, very ominous. I have a feeling all these Eocarcharias may have eaten it, because that is a lot of them right there. So this is all to say that when you're looking out for your own Carchas, keep an eye on this location here too. It's not in the official spawning location, but I did find a wild one here. I promise it wasn't spawned. Bit annoying it's no longer here. I guess I'll try to find a new one. Now of course, just my luck, there is no Carchas currently available. Currently, right now, there is 0 vanilla Carchas, 2 wild gigas, and 0 Big Al's Carchas, big or small. So nothing available. So I have spawned one in this valley, since, again, they're supposed to spawn in the Arctics, in the mountains. So I've spawned one in this valley, and now I'm sure most people are familiar with how to tame a Carcha, but just on the off chance we have any new people watching, what I would normally do in a much more legitimate scenario is I would normally have baby Rexes with me, which have like a 150 for example, and again it would normally be a baby, so let me just quickly set baby age to 0.1 and kill you, because that would be the best thing to then hand over to the Carcha, of whom at any moment should be like, oh, I smell that, I'm gonna go eat that, nom nom nom, and gain my trust for a moment once it sees me. Again, I'm very atypical Carcha tame, but I'm showing it just in case we've got any new people, unfamiliar people with this. It's done a sniff, I'm gonna run away. Gonna go ahead and take a bite out of that. And now it should be friendly to me. Yep, there we go, so now I can immediately ride it. And then again, in a regular playthrough, in a regular playthrough, what I then normally do is use tamed Diplos. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and cheat summon a, I don't know, like a bloody level 300 Diplobs. I'd normally mutation breed these like crazy. And then I'd set it to passive, I would unclaim it, it's level 450, so it's got lots of health, presumably. And I'd go ahead and eat this because again, if you don't know, for a Carcha, the more health in your target, the better. And the best way to tame a Carcha is with health mutated and health leveled Diplos. Now, if you don't have tamed baby Rexes or you don't have tamed bred Diplos, you can just feed it with like random corpses out and about, and you can then mount up your Carcha and go attacking whatever you want, but this is the most optimal, efficient way of doing it. And I figured I'd just go ahead and give that a quick little show. It's that way I actually tame a Carcha video instead of, you know, just cheating one in. It's very easy to cheat them in. And oh god, 3.6? Oh wow, you know what? I'm just gonna cheat you in. So it would be that again and again and again. So we have our Carcha, but I'm sure you all want to see like the actual animations, the actual attacks, and the actual new things. But again, it really is that process, rinse and repeat. So for a start, the walk animation, or the sprint animation is so much better. That does look so much more natural. So this is another thing. For me personally, with the current vanilla Carcha, I never really noticed that there was an issue with the animations, because I don't really well, I didn't look too close into that kind of stuff. I'm kind of paying more attention to it now that I'm part of the modding scene. And yeah, like Big Al has done such a better job. It feels better, looks more natural. It sounds a little bit better as well. So then, let's go ahead then. It's like a nice flat-ish open area ahead. So, left click. Looking good, nice and familiar. Right click. Oh, that was just a regular, right? Yeah, the regular rip and tear. Right click. Yeah, I mean, it's a Carcha. It's about the same as what you'd expect, really. It's not like it's a new creature. Do Carchas have cosmetic rules? I genuinely can't remember, but that feels powerful. It sounds... I feel like it's a new sound. I could just be losing my mind, but I do feel like that is just better overall. Oh, no, I'm crazy. Yes, this is the new roar. Oh, that is nice. Oh, I love the way it reverberates. It looks so aggressive, especially towards the end there. Look at that. And let's just listen again. And that one. I'm pretty sure it's changed the vanilla roar because it all sounds so good and so clean and like nothing sounds foreign. He's just done such a good job on it. I really have forgotten what Carchas actually do. What'd you dismount me for? I attacked a scorpion. No, that's kind of terrifying. Hold on. I guess probably because I did do tame. Okay, so it kicked me off. I'm not sure why. I think it's because I didn't do tame, so it kind of acted a little bit funny there. Yeah. Otherwise, this is definitely about what I would expect from this. And in terms of speed, oh wow, so the insight buff, the inside movement speed, it definitely is slower, but it's still fast. It still feels really good. And I gotta say, the stamina does feel much, much better. That's what's my biggest issue with Carchas and Gigas in the base game, was that their stamina is just frustrating. It's not fun at all. But this does feel much more freeing. And this is only level 100, so now 150 post-tame. So it's not even that high of a level Carcha. I know the level wouldn't affect the movement speed, obviously, but for the actual stamina usage, it feels nice. I don't feel quite so, you know, constantly strangled by having to stop and wait. It took me a while to realize that there was even more stamina in the first place because I was just happily having fun, running around, didn't notice it, which is a great thing. And I am glad that the movement speed buff from the Frenzy is still a thing. So here's one thing I want to find out then. You currently have 17 stacks of insight, right? So if I do my little roar, there you go, that's the standard roar, the one that gives things movement speed and such. And now, incited. Can I quickly see what that is? Just speed increased. Okay, it says just speed increased. I'm gonna guess the tooltip just hasn't been updated because again, according to the notes earlier, the insight buff has been changed to also give 15% damage boost and heals 10 health per second to allies. So that buff really is much stronger. So one thing I want to find out actually, here's a 150 Rex and my unleveled Carcha at whatever base damage it rolled with does 327 damage per bite, and this is 0 stack, 0 buffs, 0 anything whatsoever. So 327. And meanwhile, here is a little Carcha. So this is also base level 100, tamed to 150. Just a typical Rex size one. Let's have a little feel of this then. So yeah, feels good. Everything just feels nice again. It's what you'd expect out of a better Carcha, but it's still a Carcha nonetheless. Feels nice and smooth, nice and good pace. Let's see how you fare against a 150 Rex. So you do about 146 damage per, which I think is perfectly reasonable. And it does also get the blood rage stacks up to 50 instead of 100. But one thing that I didn't mention earlier about the little Carcha's insight stacks is that when it does the insight buff, the roar to assist your allies, as well as the 50% damage boost, it heals 20 health per second, not 10, and adds a speed boost of 25% to allies. Which I have to say is really nice for both of them. I'm glad that the inside buff actually does more offensive and defensive capabilities because the movement speed buff was nice until you realise you're just nerfing your own damage for it, and it was always very strange to do that. I remember as soon as I learned that roaring for my friend's movement speed meant I lost out on damage, I stopped using it immediately. So I'm really glad that Big Al's given us a reason to actually use the ability on our friends. Oh yeah, you are speedy. I like this. I gotta say, I do like the Rex-sized Carcha. I'm not totally fussed when it comes to, like, I'm so used to Ark having kaiju-sized dinos. I've never been particularly fussed by the size, and so the idea of like a smaller dino just kind of made me think like, by smaller, I mean like a nerfed smaller size, not a regular small dino. So I was never totally sold, but it still feels good. It feels rewarding to play. And again, it feels like a Carcha. It just feels like a less completely broken Carcha for a mini one, that is. It still feels good, it still feels fun. So then, one final thing I wanted to try with the Carcha is to check out its new baby mesh. So first of all, let's just compare it to the vanilla Carcha, which has comical proportions. I'm sure a lot of us are very familiar with this one. Now, let's compare it to you. Oh, does that look so much better? Obviously it's floating, you know, it's not supposed to be floating. Let's just go ahead then and there you go. Let's get up to level with it. That, look at that difference right there. Wow. I like how it's still got the big feet. And the little big arms actually. It's still a little goofy looking, but it's so much better. It's so much better looking. Especially compared to just how squashed the Carcha's head. You look like a lemon. It's just sad. But this one, it just feels more natural. It feels better. It's nicer to look at. Not like this. Oh goodness me. Yep, no. If anything, from this perspective right here, it feels like that, well, perspective has been turned off, like in the 3D software, so there's no point of view. So it's all flat. And it just feels like the head is really tiny compared to the feet. But again, it's better. It's just better. Like, look at it right there. I'd be surprised if anyone disagreed. Alright then, and otherwise I do believe that is everything covered. So in the end, my closing thoughts on Big Al's Carcharodontosaurus rework is why not get it? At worst, you get a slightly slower Carcha. At best, you get something that's just much more fun to play with and it has more freedom. And by freedom, I mean it's got better stamina, it's got a 75% weight reduction to all types of meat, and the support raw buff it can give to its allies is just better as well. It does more, it's actually worth using, and if you use a smaller version of the mod, it can be used in boss battles as well. Again, why not use this? I really can't think of a reason not to. It's already available across platforms, like consoles can play this as well. There's no restrictions to my knowledge, so get it. Why not? Just go ahead and get this one. Right then, as always, thank you all so